Martha speaks. Martha gives advice. Martha and her neighbor Truman were sitting in the kitchen when Helen ran in folding half the clothes in her closet. Martha, I need your opinion. What should I wear? She asked. Martha said, I think you look great in what you're already wearing. You look like you. But Helen said, my cousin Carolina knows a lot about fashion, and she says, fashion isn't about looking like you, it's about looking like everybody else. Martha thought for a minute. Then she pointed with her muzzle. I suggest that shirt with those pants. When Helen went to change her clothes, Truman said, I'm not sure a dog should give fashion advice. Later that afternoon, Helen met Carolina at the movie theater. When Carolina saw Helen's outfit, she looked horrified. Who picked out those clothes? She asked. Your dog? Before Helen could answer, her cousin pushed her into the dark theater. At home, Martha was listening to the radio. The DJ announced, This is the What Do You Do show. We want to hear your opinion. Martha always enjoys sharing her options. Moments later, the DJ said, We have Martha calling from Wagstaff City. Today's topic is your money and what to do with it. What do you suggest, Martha? Martha replied, Whenever I want something valuable, I just bury it in the backyard. Before the DJ could find his voice, the head of the radio station got on the phone. It's about time someone called in with decent advice. He said, My grandfather buried his money in the yard, then used it to buy the station. Would you like to host an advice show? He asked Martha. What a silly question, said Martha. Of course. At the movie theater, Carolina looked at Helen's outfit and shook her head. You need a makeover, she told Helen. Meet me at my house later this week. You'll have a new look in time for the Harvest Festival. At the radio station, Martha went to work. Hi, this is Martha, your new advice hound. I'll be taking your calls and offering my opinions all afternoon. As the day wore on, Martha gives callers lots of unusual advice. Forget the gym. I convinced the best form of exercise is chasing a stick. When company comes, jump up, shake your fanny, sniff up and down. If you have an upset stomach, I recommend eating a bunch of grass. That always makes me feel better. Martha's show was a huge hit. Everybody in town was listening to it and following her advice. The only person not listening was Helen. She was still worried about Carolina's opinion. Do I look like a goof? She asked her mom. No, said her mother. You look like an artist. But I don't want to look like an artist, Helen exclaimed. I want to look like everybody else. She left for Carolina's house and makeover. Carolina was listening to Martha's advice show. The topic of the day was fashion. Carolina turned off the radio when Helen came into the room. Try on some of my clothes, she told Helen. But everything was too big and nothing looked right. Carolina decided to take Helen to the store where they could find all the latest fashions. At the store, the saleswoman showed Helen and Carolina the hottest new item. It looked like a dog collar. Someone recommended it on the radio, she said. Now everybody wants one. What if I don't like it? Helen asked. Carolina was shocked. Fashion isn't about what you like, Helen. It's about what other people like. Helen was slumped on the couch when her friend T.D. came over to go to the Harvest Festival. I'm not going, Helen told him. All my clothes look dorky. You couldn't look any weirder than I do, T.D. said. Anyway, if you feel too dorky, when we get there, you don't have to stay. Helen recently agreed, but she said, I'm going to wear that I want to wear. What I want to wear. When Helen found Carolina at the festival, she couldn't believe her eyes. Helen, Carolina said, I'm glad you finally found the right look. But this is what I wore before, Helen told her. Don't you remember? Carolina wasn't listening. She was too excited. That radio advised Lady Martha is going to be here, she squealed. Just then the mayor announced, it's time for our special guest Wagstaff City's very own advice hound, Martha. The crowd cheers. But when Martha stepped on out stage, there was silence until Helen said, Martha? That's Martha, gasped Carolina. I've been taking advice from a dog. That's right, said Martha, smiling at the crowd. I'm Martha, your advice hound, and if you want my opinion, you can all look great just by being yourselves. Helen looked around for her cousin, but Carolina was nowhere in sight. The end.